forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and catch the next conversation that everyone will be talking about, only on Cool America Live. Hey everyone, welcome back to Cool America Live. Today we are taking it from high intensity fight scenes to Broadway stages with the incredible woman that has done it all, Jess Khan Lee. You've seen her bring fierce elegance and edge to roles across the US, the UK, and Asia, and now she's lighting up the screen as Marine Sergeant Riviera in the latest Mission Impossible film. With martial arts skills, aerial training, and a resume that stretches from Matilda to Blade, Jess is redefining what it means to be a modern-day action icon and doing it with serious style. Hi, Jess. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me. That's quite an introduction. I hope I can live up to it.
Well, you already have, so good job for you. Well, your resume kind of reads like a Hollywood play action playlist. So Broadway, martial arts, aerial work. Like, are you seriously like a secret superhero or something? Because it doesn't feel like you're real.
I wish. I don't know if it's that or if I just have a really short attention span. I don't know. Yeah, I love all sorts of things. Like I love dance, I love martial arts, I love rock climbing, I love acting, singing. So I've just kind of always wanted to do it all. And then I've just gone where the wind has blown me. If an opportunity has come up, I've gone that way. So
I love that so much. And I get what you're saying, the attention span thing. It kind of does make you branch out a little, doesn't it?
it does. I think it's something about being creative, you know, if I get stuck in one thing too long, I can get like a little bit bored of it. So I always need something like a little bit new, something new to like achieve, a new challenge.
Yes, same. But between flying through the air and throwing punches, which one kind of feels more like you? Like, when are you really in your element?
You know what? I have thought about this, but they all feel like different parts of me. Like I feel just as comfortable. There are some days where I wake up and I feel like the ballet girl inside of me. And then there are other days that I wake up and I just want to like get down and dirty or be really like fierce or just like, first of all, let me say this. I hate violence. I can't watch it. If somebody punches somebody else on screen, I'm like, ah. But I love doing it, not for real, but I love doing it physically. Um, so yeah, I think they speak to different parts of me, which is why I haven't gone for just one. I need all of them to kind of, yeah, fulfill me, I guess.
Yeah. I think it like that's and it's wild that you get to do it. And that has to be so cool for you. I always wonder though, with all that weapons training and stunt work, like do you still get an adrenaline rush or is it kind of more like, oh, just another day at the office type thing?
No, definitely not. Yeah, I definitely get an adrenaline rush from it. I mean, I think I'm a little bit more settled in it now. But yeah, it's always scary. I mean, when you do something new, I have to work on it a lot. Like if I've got a bit of fight choreography or whatever, like the first time I'm learning it, I do not look good. Yeah, everyone's like, it comes naturally to you. And it does to a certain extent, but like, I'm not learning it right away and it looking good. I need like a second for it to kind of sit in. I'm very methodical about it. Like, I think it's the ballet training. I need everything to be perfect when I learn it. And when it isn't, I get really frustrated. So I tend to learn things really like broken down and then can make it good. Or some people are great. Some people are just like, yeah, whatever, let's just go for it and see. But
I'm
I'm working towards that bravery.
Yeah, honestly, and I'm the same way as you. So it it is, you're right. And the methodical going of it, it just kind of feels more safe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Thanks.
it's just what I'm used to. I am working towards kind of trying to let it go and just like throwing it at the wall because that's what I would tell other people to do. I'd be
Yeah.
like, don't worry about it. Just put it out there. You can
It's
do
so
it. And then it
yeah,
comes to
it's
me and I'm like,
always like
oh,
that. It's so much easier to be able to tell somebody else, but you're sitting there thinking, oh, wait a minute. I need to listen to myself.
my own advice. Yeah.
Yes. So about your Mission Impossible character, she's
Mm.
like someone who could run an army and choreograph a rooftop ballet all at once. How do you kind of get into the headspace for a role like that?
Um, For this particular one, I didn't really know what to expect before I went on set. I didn't really have a sense. They kept the script and stuff quite under under wraps. So I wasn't sure what I was walking into until the first day. And even then, it took like a few weeks for me to kind of like understand what was going on. Um, so what helped me the most was actually just being on set because I was doing scenes where other actors were like doing their bits first. So I really got to sit in it for a while in like the atmosphere and watch them. And I mean, I was watching like Angela Bassett. You know what I mean? Like it's you're like, there's nothing that's gonna get you in the mood more than watching her be president. I was watching Tom. I was getting to like read opposite him. So I think just actually being in the space this time said it for me. I didn't really have to go home and think about things very much.
Yeah, I can't even imagine being, like you said, Angela Bassett, and then there's Tom Cruise. And it's honestly, that would have been a big pinch me moment for myself. Like, is this real life right now?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely, yeah. The first day I walked in to set was our first day on mission eight, and it was the rehearsal day. And I walked onto set and I looked to my right and Angela Bassett was walking beside me, and I was like, oh my God, Angela Bassett. I don't know, I'm telling you this embarrassing story, but here we go. So I'm I'm walking on, and then I see Tom, who I hadn't met until this point. I didn't even know he was going to be there that day. And he walked towards me and I'm like, oh, he's coming to say hi. You know? So I'm like, hi. And I go to shake my hand and he goes straight past me to Angela and they're like, hey, and they have this big embrace. And I had to do that like, uh, say hi to the crew guy or whatever. And then I felt this tap on my shoulder behind me and I was like, don't turn around because I was just so embarrassed. And then I felt another tap and I turned around and it was Tom. And he was like, hey, I'm Tom. And I was like, this is a great way to start my first day on set.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, you sharing that makes it feel just so much more comfortable because you don't hear things like that. And it's like we look at people like you and in your position and how just so freaking cool you are. And we think like there's no way this could ever be like a norm for normal people. And then you share something like that and we realize, it is. Anybody could have
Yeah.
been in that position. We all have
Yeah.
actually, just maybe
We
not
all
to that
have.
magnitude.
Yeah, it happens to everyone. And I mean, it's Tom Cruise, but he was so kind and he was so sweet and it made my embarrassment melt away like quite quickly. He was so gracious. But yeah, I definitely,
Well,
that was my first day.
I love that for you. Um, did you get to do any of your own stunts for the movie, or was there any moment where, you know, you were able to get more involved with the action part of it?
Um, this role is not very stunt heavy, actually. It's some other roles of mine have been much more action based. But this one, I only got to handle weapons. But I had had weapons training before this, and then I had them on set again. So that was quite cool. We would just be out at the back of the lot. We were shooting at Long Cross Studios in London, and we were just in a dusty back lot with the stunt coordinator and the armory guys teaching us how to use the guns and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Yes, that does sound, and I did see that you had that weapons training. And so that to me seems very surreal. It's like you get to actually be your character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that your version of tough really doesn't cancel out elegance because you're still so wonderfully elegant and beautiful. And it's like almost if John Wick, Cirque du Soleil, and Black Swan had a baby, I feel like it would be you.
I am here for that. Is there a film like that?
Um,
They're already doing John Wick Ballerina, so I feel like I've missed the boat on that one, but maybe there will be another iteration of it.
yes. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's out now.
I
Yeah, it's
feel
Anna
like
de Armas, right? And she's
we gotta
working
do
with,
it. We gotta
yeah,
make it. We'll make one. I'll just write it for you.
thanks.
It'll be you. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Say, okay, what if you had to invent your own hybrid style, like jazz foo or something like that? What would
Oh
it
my
even look
God.
like?
I've never, I mean, of course, I've never been asked that before. That is a very unique question. I love it. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking because I don't know what it would be called, but I think there would be a combination of, so I'm a avid rock climber as well. I love it. So for me, I think it would be a combination of Wing Chun, um, because that's the martial art I'm practicing now, rock climbing, and then I think a dance element. Ooh, which one? Because Wing Chun is very close, like it has a lot of balletic, whatever elements to it. So maybe it would have that, or would I throw hip hop in there just for fun? I don't know. But I think it would be cool to have those elements up and down a wall or be able to do them like,
Yeah, I would
my
definitely pay to see that for sure.
yeah. Yeah.
I like the thought of the hip hop too, because it kind of throws in that little edge, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't expect it.
You can help me come up with a name for it.
Oh gosh, that that might take a minute.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
much going on. I feel like.
Guys, tell us in the comments.
Yes, for sure. Please. We would love that. We need all that. We need some help with that. Well, do you have any pre-performance rituals that kind of help you get into these physical characters?
Um, I mean, basic stuff, I guess, like warming up.
Mm.
Um, are we talking more about like action or more about like acting?
You know what? Let's just go with acting. Let's,
Acting.
yeah.
Okay. Acting, it really depends on the role for me. So this one, it was just kind of enough for me to be on set and to understand, like, once I had the costume on, I felt like I had the physicality anyway. So there wasn't a lot to prepare, I guess, walking into it.
Mhm.
Um, Then other roles that I've done, there's one role that I did recently for a series that's coming out in the autumn, called Hotel Costiera. And I picked a song that I felt really kind of embodied what my character was going through and one that I emotionally connected to. So before the scenes, I used to listen to that song just to get me in the zone. Yeah, and that one helped a lot actually. It was probably my first time doing that.
You know what? And that makes so much sense, honestly, but you're the first one that's ever said that. So, but
Oh,
music is calming and that does make
yeah.
a whole lot of sense. So that's a great strategy.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
if you're someone that connects to music, then I think it can be really helpful. I was definitely that kid that was like, listening to my music and looking out the car window like main character in my own imaginary like movie. So I
Same.
think that's where it comes from, and then I put it in. I was like, actually, this works. I'm gonna use it.
Well, cool. And then you get to listen to some good music before you got to do your thing. So
Yeah.
win-win. Um,
Yeah.
well, you've worked in the United States, the UK, and Asia, correct? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, is
Well,
there
projects for the
a
US, but actually they've
Okay.
shot in Canada.
Oh, okay. So have you noticed a difference like between the industries in those different regions? Is there anything that really stood out to you?
Um, hmm. I mean, not particularly. I can't think of anything in particular that was a big difference for me, like either shooting in Canada or shooting here.
Yeah.
Um, I've worked in Asia a lot too, and I think that is different for sure.
Mhm.
Um, but no, I mean, I think I've just worked with great crews everywhere. I mean, nah,
No.
no, that's my boring answer. No,
No, it's
everything's
not. I mean, because you don't know. That's like you wouldn't know what all those different industries are like. Maybe something would really stick out that would be really different. But I guess it's kind of comforting to know that it's similar across the board because it makes it,
similar, yeah.
yeah, it makes it
I
easier to
mean, certain
function.
productions have different ways of going about things and different expectations. Like working in Italy was a little bit different from working in Canada and here,
Cool.
from what I noticed. and Asia as well, but I wouldn't say like significant differences.
Okay. Yeah, well, for sure. Um, so Broadway, speaking of like all across the board here, we've got Broadway to Hong Kong to Hollywood. What was the most unexpectedly human moment that you've had behind the scenes that kind of made you think this is the exact reason why I do what I do?
Ah.
Maybe it doesn't even have to be behind the scenes, but like just anything that happened during filming where it was like a real true aha moment, or it just felt so right.
Right. You know what, for me, I think that's going to be a very early on one.
Mhm.
And it was probably one of my very first experiences working professionally. I think my second, and it was a musical, and I was doing West Side Story. I think I was like 16 or something. And that for me has always stuck in my mind is like I was so young and I had still only like I'd done sort of one musical job and then there was that one and I loved West Side Story and I got to do it with this amazing cast and it was everything to me. Like I didn't want anything more. It was my whole world. I just felt like complete joy and creative fulfillment and like I belonged. Like I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else. And I think that's what's driven me my whole life. So I'm gonna go with that one.
That was beautiful. And I 100% can see why you would go there because that's just a feeling that you don't get to experience often. So,
Yeah, it's hard to recreate that as you get older. Like even when you do incredible projects and stuff, it's like the first time you ever fall in love. And when you're that young too, you know the feeling that you get. You kind of never replicate again when it takes up your whole being. So yeah.
this is true. Okay. So, total sidebar. If
Hmm.
your Broadway Jess, Mission Impossible Jess, and video game Jess all walked into a party, who's starting a dance battle? Who's giving emotional advice? And who's ghosting before the clock strikes 12?
Oh, okay. Broadway me is definitely starting the party,
Yes.
100%. Um, the Mission Impossible me is giving life advice, and video game me I don't even know if video game me showed up.
I love that. I love that very much. I just want to know who I'm hanging out with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
What might change throughout this interview. So,
so if you're starring kind of in the movie of you, what
mhm.
genre do you think it would be? Um, and what stunt, I guess, to make it fun, what stunt would you have pulled that no one believes you actually did?
Okay. Oh, what genre? I'd go drama.
Okay, interesting.
Do I go musical though? But no, because I think musical, okay, here's the tricky thing, right? Because how can it be drama? How can I not have musical if
Right.
like half my life is like dancing and whatever? But
Mm,
musical, I think people associate with kind of like happy-go-lucky, over the top. But I guess there can be some like dark
dramatic
musicals.
musical.
So yeah, dramatic musical. So I would go, which I actually once did a musical in Sweden a few years ago at the Opera House. And it was almost like a play, but it was to music of this famous Swedish singer. Uh, but it was very dark. It's like if you had taken the music out, it would have been a very dark drama. Um, but we had those, dancing, whatever in it. So I would go that. I would have a really dark drama that might have some like musical hints to it, but not in your like jazz hands way.
Well, yes, of course. That sounds really interesting. Like really interesting. We're gonna have to make that one too.
Pick a stunt. I mean, how do you even top a stunt where people will go, "Oh my God, I can't believe she did that," when like Tom Cruise just hung off a plane?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's That's a tough one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what kind of stunt there would be.
Maybe a
I don't
dance
know.
move,
A dance move?
maybe.
Ooh, a dance move. Well, flying through, there must be something where you fly through the air, right? For a
Yeah.
while, just to have that sense of like, I guess that's skydiving, but yeah,
No, but
I
I
don't
see
know.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I that would be a stunt. Yeah, that would be hard to pull off too. But I feel
Yeah.
like now whenever you're saying that, I think of like this flying through the audience, but obviously on like with
About like
oh,
a really like beautiful, like Chinese martial arts style where everything is really beautiful, but like as you're like falling or whatever, like through the sky, that it's this like choreographed fight.
oh,
Be
that
cool.
that's it. That sounds awesome. That really does
Yeah,
sound.
that sounds right.
Whenever we're talking about Mission Impossible, and we had, kind of touched upon getting to talk to Tom,
Mhm.
what was it like working with him? I mean,
Oh.
coming, off a set one day, what would be, I guess, the best way to describe working with somebody of his stature?
Oh God. I mean, how do you have one word to describe it? It was, you know what, there's the word for it, except that we overuse the word, I think is awesome. And I don't mean like it was awesome. I mean, it was like awesome. Like I'm in awe of him. I do feel like he's kind of like the last big movie star or the only big movie star. And I know everybody thinks he's incredible for his stunts, which he is, but he's such a brilliant and interesting actor. And when you look at his body of work, of all the different things that he's done, I just he's sensational. Like I'm kind of overwhelmed when I think about how good he is. And every day on set with him was just a big learning. Like he's so generous in sharing his knowledge with you. He's so generous in telling you stories. If you ask him a question, he won't give you like a 2-second response. He'll stand there for 20 minutes and talk to you about things. So it was really like for me when I first got the film, I was like, "Oh my God, Mission Impossible, this is going to be so cool." And I always, thought about that moment of like when the film comes out and how like my friends and family are going to get to see it. But actually, at the end of the day, it was the moments of being on set that I think were the most incredible moments for me. The film coming out kind of felt like second.
Yeah.
Um, it's just that ability to like learn from this person that's just been around for decades. I mean, and he's funny, he's charming, and he's kind. I mean, we talked about climbing a lot, because obviously he did some climbing in the other Mission films.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that Mission Impossible 2 film, we talked about that a lot and stuff. So yeah, he's interested in so many things. So yeah, the conversations you have with him are just from A to Z.
Wow. That had to have been so surreal, but
Yeah.
so cool too. And just
Yeah,
to
very
find
cool.
out he's so down to earth, it
Yeah.
well, I have to say that he's not the only one that has groundness and humbleness to them. For like you also, no matter the role, there's this just groundness about you, this um just genuine wholesomeness. How do you stay grounded, like with all that's going on and all that you're establishing in your career? What keeps you grounded?
Oh, I guess on one hand, I have my family to thank for that.
Mhm.
Uh, and I think, you know what it is like I've dreamt about this for so long, and I guess I feel like I've worked really hard for it, but I've also had, I've been rejected so many times. I've been disappointed so many times. There are roles that I really wanted and came close to and then lost them. Um, So I think in a way, like I'm really grateful for the things that I'm doing, and I really want to keep doing them and keep doing more because I love it. Like I can't imagine my life without it. But at the same time, like you, I never take it for granted because no matter how successful you are, I think in this industry, unless you're really at the top, I do think you have more moments of disappointment than you do of success, I guess. But if you can enjoy sort of the whole ride of it, or at least give yourself space of like, okay, I was disappointed in this thing, and that's okay. But there will be something coming for me, which is hard to keep faith sometimes, even though you say it. But yeah, I think just knowing that, these things, Tom Hanks, this is it. Sorry, I'm rambling now.
No, you're not.
But Tom Hanks did this interview. I think it was a round table when they asked him like a great piece of advice or something, and he said, "This too shall pass." And we usually think about that as in when bad things happen, this too shall pass. But he says, "You think like you're down, this too shall pass. You think you're on top of the world, this too shall pass." And I always think about that, like, yeah, at the end of the day, you're just you.
Right. Absolutely. That's very true.
Yeah, that's all there. Sorry.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
totally fine. And I love that because I use that. I also say that this too shall
Do
pass.
you?
I've
Yeah.
never really thought to look at it from that
Mm,
perspective that you just
yeah.
gave us, which honestly is very eye-opening,
Yeah.
interesting to think about. You did mention that you have been turned down and on roles and things that some that you really did want. How would you what would you say to somebody that is just starting out, I guess like on how do you handle those situations and to
Mhm.
continue on obviously and then get to the success that you're getting to now?
I think you have to feel that fire in yourself. Even at those times where I've been disappointed, I've had this like, or even times of like self-doubt, which we all have. I think artists and creative people have it the worst. You know, this is a lot of self-doubt. There's always been like this tiny little ember, at least in me, that is burning. That is like, no, you can do it. There's something there. And sometimes it's like a raging fire inside of me. And I feel so confident. And I'm like, you just don't know, but I'm going to show you. And other times it's like, this wet little ember that's barely flickering, but you're keeping it alive. But as long as you have that, you have something and you can keep going. We all get rejected over and over again. So there has to be a certain level of toughness to us. But I do think it's not always about having a thick skin because as artists, you usually don't have a thick skin. Like I
True.
definitely don't. You just get used to taking rejection. And some are easier, you move on. And some you cry for a week about it and you go, why wasn't it me? And then you eventually just have to move on. Try not to hold on to it for too long.
Well, I appreciate your realness and honesty in that. I feel like that's where a lot of the people that listen to this that are wanting to get into the industry, they're going to find that very helpful. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, I hope so. Just don't give up, guys. I mean, if you want it, you'll be really sad if you give it up.
Right. I agree for sure. It's not always easy, but sometimes you got to do the hard things.
Yeah, exactly. And you might be someone's no, but you might be somebody else's yes.
I love that. Absolutely. I think that is going to make a great
That's
tagline.
it.
Um, so I want to get back. I guess I'm kind of moved a little off track. So
Yeah.
you started off dancing and now,
Yeah.
in the acting and the roles, do you kind of find sometimes that dance is influencing your acting, even in roles where you're not really like performing a dance?
Yes, for good and for bad. Um, so I guess the good thing is that for really practical things, actually, for being aware of my body, for hitting marks, for blocking, for also understanding how the body can communicate emotion and being comfortable with other people. Because obviously in dance, it's all about expressing yourself through your body. So that has really helped. But when it's worked against me has been, I think, perfectionism. In dance, you're taught to be, especially if you start in ballet, which I did, it's all about perfection. Um, and acting should not be about perfection. It should be about the opposite. I should be relaxed enough to throw things at the wall and see where they land, having done the work and stuff. So I do think that holds me back sometimes, trying to get it perfect. Or if I've done a few takes and stuff, not falling into that trap of repeating whatever choreography or whatever I had done with my body before. Like muscle memory, which is what you get a lot as a dancer. So I'm very good at, if we have to shoot a scene a bunch of times, I'm very good at what's the word I'm looking for? If we've blocked certain things, or if we have to take things from a line, I remember exactly where my body was, where I was looking, where everything was, which is really great for continuity. What it's not great for is when I'm trying to change it up and my body wants to do something that it's done 20 times and then I have to go to change it. So that's something I really have to work on actually, is to be free.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense because we do, even, in day-to-day tasks, we find ourselves in that muscle memory. So you're right, like breaking that, you don't really think about it, but breaking that would be really difficult, especially
Yeah.
immediately, because it's not like you guys have all this time, to fix that or to change those things. Like it has to be done on demand,
Yeah.
which a lot of times people don't see, behind the scenes and stuff. So I can see why you said both good and bad, but it does. It did seem like dancing and all of those things that you had said just make so much sense. And it almost makes you think, I wonder if more artists should do dance just for those positive things. Because I
I
feel like,
mean, I think even dance has taught me so much, like dedication and perseverance and what hard work really means. I mean, out of the art forms, maybe that's a bit unfair because I haven't been in every art form and stuff, and everybody works hard in them, but dancers, the commitment that you have to have
yeah.
from the years. I had a friend say to me once, he was a lighting designer, and he said to me, dancers astound me because they're the only people that have been in their careers since they were 2 years old.
Whoa.
And I'm like, that's true. People usually they're 18 or whatever it is when they start to have their careers, or in their 20s. And like dancers, you've been training since you were two.
That's wild.
Um, yeah. So it's given me a really strong work ethic, I think, which translates really well to acting. You're used to long hours, you're used to keeping up the energy, you're just grateful to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, I mean, it feels like dance really doesn't just give you the physical jump to the industry, but also the mental work
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is definitely an interesting way to look at it. And I'm glad we talked about that.
Yeah. That's a
Um,
question.
thanks. So you've done pretty much every genre that we can think of. Well, maybe not everyone, but a lot. Very diverse. You have a very diverse repertoire when it comes to the different genres. Is there a genre though that's still calling your name that maybe you haven't tackled yet?
Um, Genre.
So like you've done sci-fi musicals, you've done the video game. I mean,
Yeah.
that's wild. Whenever I saw that you did that, I was like, wow, that's so wild. I didn't even think about that. It never really crossed my mind. So maybe like horror or a rom-com.
Okay, horror. No, I mean, I don't want to say no because if anybody's out
Right.
there, they want to cast me. Please, I love all genres, but horror is hard for me. Although maybe I should do it because I cannot watch it.
Oh,
I
that's right.
can't.
We'll talk about that. You don't really like the kind of
No
your face stuff.
violent, scary stuff. I am the person. Years ago, I had the TV on and Chucky came on. I think 5 minutes of it. I'd never seen it before.
That's
I
fine.
saw it. I was like, this is so stupid. Why is anybody scared of this? How is it a horror? 5 minutes, literally. I turned it off. I went to bed. I was in the dark. I was like, Chucky's under my bed.
I do this.
I was petrified.
Yes.
I called my friend and woke them up. They were on the other side of the country. I woke them up in the middle of the night and I made them stay on the phone with me for hours because I was like, Chucky. So I was like, I can't watch them. It's awful. So maybe I should do it just to like, take the magic away from it a little bit and be behind the scenes. But in terms of genre, I mean, I'd love to do a musical film, even though I've done musicals on stage. I'd love to do that. I just want to do more of everything. I'd love to do a drama,
Mm.
but a drama that is very character driven,
Okay.
um, and a character that is very far away from who I am.
Mhm.
That's what I would love,
Yes.
because I feel like I have a lot in common with all the projects that I've done. In terms of who the characters are, I can see myself in them. But what I really want to tackle is somebody who I find it really difficult to relate to. So I don't know what form that is. I don't know what it looks like, but that's what I would love to do.
Perfect. Well, and
Mm.
in all honesty, I feel like you would nail it because you've nailed all of the other ones. And you don't like the violence and stuff, but I mean you play it well. So I'm also wondering about the horror thing, like the horror film thing.
Yeah.
If you did that, I almost wonder if it would take away that
Yeah,
where you can't look or you can't watch. You know what I mean? I wonder if
yeah,
that kind of would counteract that.
that's what I'm hoping. So maybe it would be good to do a horror just so I can like distance myself from it or like disassociate from it because I think I just get so wrapped up.
Mhm.
Like I the I'm just what's the word I'm looking for? I was about to say I'm so empathetic, but that's
But you
so
are.
wanky.
I
That's
mean,
not what I mean though.
I
But I
know.
mean when I watch something, I get really involved in it. And I think that's my problem. And that's great when I'm watching other things, but I think that's my problem when it comes to horror. It's too real. So yeah, maybe I need to go and do a horror and see like just kind of how they make everything and how we fake everything, and then I'll feel better about it.
Yeah. Well, I think regardless, you're gonna crush whatever comes your way, because you have already. And
Oh,
it's so wonderful to watch you and to get to talk to you. It's almost like you're just so down to earth and just so real. I mean, and you don't find that all the time. So
aw, that's
it's
sweet. I
very
mean, where are you
wonderful.
from? You're also very like,
Thank you. Well, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I live now in Columbia, South Carolina. So
okay. Yeah, cool. I mean, I'm just from Winnipeg. I don't know if you know where that is,
I do
but
where Winnipeg is.
do you,
It's
do you,
fun.
whenever somebody's like, where are you from? I'm like, Canada. They're like, where? I'm like, the middle. Because sometimes I feel like unless you're from Canada, you don't know. Um, but yeah, just a prairie girl. So
Hey, well, I mean, it works and it keeps
yeah,
you down to earth and relatable. And I feel like that's a big thing. And that says a lot about you and your character, but um it
that's
also
very,
shows why you're just so honest and you just don't you're just you. And
oh,
sometimes that's really hard to do. So,
oh, that's really sweet. I don't really know how to take that, but thanks.
well, it's the truth. And I really don't want the conversation to end at all, but we do have two more questions for you. They're kind of our signature asks, being with Cool
Okay.
America, kind of in true Cool America fashion. Um,
Okay.
we always like to ask, what is one thing that you find cool about America?
Oh, okay. One thing that I find cool about America. Okay. I'm gonna go. These are not, one of them is very general answer, and the other two I think are quite specific and not particularly America as a whole, but just things that I've loved when I've come to America.
Perfect.
So the very general one is just the spread of I'm gonna get the words wrong now. This is gonna be so embarrassing. Is it topography? Geography? No.
Geography.
Like the mountains and the
Yeah.
lakes. Oh my God, this is yeah. The spread of nature across the country and how different it can be going from one place to the next. I think it's also the way people think about Canada or whatever is like America's one thing, but actually if you travel from one place to the next, the culture is different, the accent might be different, the way people interact, the way that the city looks, like you can have so many different experiences within one country. And I think that's the strength that makes like a people really interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
Agree with you.
and
Never
then to
thought of
go
it.
very to go very specific, I was in Chicago once on tour, and the jazz scene in Chicago was something that I had never experienced anywhere else, and it was one of the coolest things I'd ever experienced. Um, and then New York, I went to theater school in New York for a bit,
Okay.
uh, and I mean, just walking down the streets of New York, there's just a vibe to it, I think, that isn't replicated anywhere else.
Definitely
So,
not.
and then the way that people just, and I mean this in a good way, but like can just like yell at this on the street, the people are so unapologetically who they are and kind of larger than life,
Yeah.
real characters. And that's so cool.
Yes.
Especially in a world sometimes when people are trying to blend in a lot.
Right. Absolutely. I see what you're saying. And I always love asking that question to people that weren't born here or don't live here
Mm.
most of their time, because it always kind of gives me more of an appreciation for the country I live in. So like how you said
Yeah.
with the geography and going, from place to place, and it really is like such this melting pot that no place, even though we're all in the same country, none of us are the same.
Yeah.
And so you saying that, you never really think about that being here. So thanks for that new perspective that I just got. I love it.
Nice.
And then so now we talked about America, but
Mhm.
what is one thing that is cool about you that maybe not everybody would know about you?
Oh God, cool.
Well, we already know you're cool, but like what do you think is cool about
Not cool. I think I do some cool things, but me myself, I'm not cool. But that's very cute. That's very nice of you to say. Uh, I don't know about cool, but maybe something that people wouldn't know about me. Um, I was kind of like not a nerd at school, but I took school very seriously, and I love it. I have a master's degree
you?
in literary and cultural studies in the comparative literature department. So I did a bachelor's in English literature and psychology, and then I did a master's degree in literary and cultural studies.
Wow. Yeah, definitely didn't know that about you, but well, kudos to you. That's wonderful. That's amazing. Um, and so just that is really cool, actually. That's very, very cool. I was the same kind of way. I love learning. Um,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, love learning. I love knowing about things and kind of the
Mm.
same way that you described, just wanting to branch out, and get and know things and just be not a nerd, but I know what you're saying. And
Well,
like,
kind of a nerd.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
best way possible because it it's how you learn things. It's how you become so open-minded and down to earth as well. I think that kind of helps too.
Yeah. I kind of think we do things in the wrong order. I don't know what that order would be, but I kind of wish we had more of our education or like learning,
Yeah.
studying particular subjects when we were older, because I don't think you can appreciate them when you're young. When you're young, I think we have to teach particular skills, like social skills and life skills, interpersonal skills, all the things that kind of make you grow as a person, and then play and
Yeah.
enjoyment and have kids figure out what they're interested in, what they're good at, what they're not so good at, like have time to grow in that. And then as we're older, I think we should maybe have education in terms of like those things that we can study or time in our life when we can study. Because when we're older is when we're like, oh, I'm really interested in this thing, or I have the attention span for it, or I understand it, or I didn't understand it when I was 14. So yeah, I wish the world was set up in a different way. It'd be really cool to like live it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of thought of it that way that you just described it, but I absolutely 100% agree with you. I was a teacher. I taught elementary school,
I
for,
was a teacher too.
no way, you were a teacher too. What did you
Yeah, I
teach?
left the industry for like 3 years and I was a teacher.
What? What did you teach?
Yeah. I taught English and English literature.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I taught reading and writing, so it was ELA, English language,
Okay. So
to
like the same.
in elementary school to fourth grade.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Wild. Um, but I 100% agree with you because even teaching, it even like resonates with the children in fourth grade. They don't even know what books they like. So,
Mm,
and it's like we're trying to force them reading. It's you have to read. But whenever you're sitting there at 10 years old and you're like, well, I don't even know what I'm interested in. And so then you just get frustrated because you're reading things that you aren't interested in, and then you don't like it. And then people are upset with you because you're not reading, but
yeah.
it's kind of this thing. And so I feel like you touched upon that and nailed it with the way it could go. I like that.
Yeah. That's
Really?
so interesting that you were a teacher. The two other people that I've worked with, or that were, well, Greg Tarzan Davis, who was in Mission Impossible. He used to be a teacher.
No
And
way.
Jesse Williams, who I'm working with in my next project, he also used to be a teacher.
Oh, wow.
And when I did actually this musical in Sweden, there was this incredible actor over there, and he was a teacher for many years. And I think he didn't become an actor until he was, I can't even remember when, 30s or 40s or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
I mean, like there's a thread.
we're everywhere.
Many of you teachers out there that are dreaming of acting, go for it. But also please
So
stay teachers because we don't have enough.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Well, Jess, you're unreal. You are just a true force to be reckoned with, a movement poet with a mean right hook. So, thank you so much for letting us into your world today. And I know for a fact you're going to break even more ground in your next roles. And we are officially on Jess Watch for what's next with you at Cool America. But thank you so much for taking the time and for sharing so much with us and your perspectives on things. So,
Thank you so much. And thank you for such great questions and for this conversation. It was really nice to talk to you.
well, thank you for being open to answer them because and on the fly, might I add. I
On
mean,
the on the fly.
totally. That was wild to me, but yes, thank you so much and we really appreciate you and you are officially Cool America family. So,
Amazing.
thank you.
Thanks, Cool America.
Thank you so much. Well, there you have it, everyone, from Broadway to blockbusters to being pretty much the coolest person in every room. Jess continues to remind us that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it flies. Thank you.
Want early access to celebrity interviews? Want your question asked on air with a personal shout out? This isn't just watching, it's becoming part of the show. We've got A-list guests, rising stars, and raw, unfiltered convos you won't find anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button now and turn on all notifications so you don't miss your moment. Welcome to the Cool America Live family, where your voice really matters.